Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our information session for the Bachelors in Information Technology offered at Cts College. My name is Sanjeev. I'll be your host for today's session. How are you all doing this morning? Everyone is okay?
Yes, sir.
Very good, understand, yes.
Wonderful, not a problem. So we do have a fun-filled information session packed for you guys. You all ready for it?
Yes.
Excellent, no problem. I like that excitement. So moving on to a bit about the speakers for today. Well, we do have a couple of persons that are currently not present with us, but I'm Sanjeev. I'm the very last name there. You can reach me at that number and that email address as well. There's also Mr. Ravi Raghunath, who is the Executive Director of Cts College. He can be reached at 777-1294 or at the email address listed on screen, as well as Mr. Aaron Naris, who's your program manager. Maybe a lot of you present here today may have spoken to maybe two or three of, or maybe all three of us as well, right? But these are the persons ideally you would like to keep in contact with regards to the Bachelors in Information Technology. Now, if there's any important emails that has to be sent across, it could be sent to bsc@ctscollege.com. And once you send to that email address, it's a group email address. It's sent to all three of us, right? So emails preferably are sent to bsc@ctscollege.com, right? So moving forward into this, yeah.
Could we get that sent in an email, all that
Yes,
info?
definitely. Right. This slide would be posted to you guys soon after the session finishes, right? So you would have the information as well. So just to get you guys a bit prepared, I have a couple of activities listed, just like to warm up you guys for the information being relayed. You all ready for the questions?
Yes, sir.
All right,
Sure,
now
go.
feel free to unmute as well and answer the questions. So first question is, why was the mobile phone wearing glasses? Why was the mobile phone wearing glasses? Anyone want to take a chance?
Well, you couldn't see.
Close. I've seen some, excellent, Kyle Hernandez, excellent. So why was the mobile phone wearing glasses? He had actually lost all of his contacts, right? I have another question here though for you guys. What kind of computer sings the best? What kind of computer sings the best? Anyone?
Quiet one.
Adele, Kyle, you're on fire this morning, boy. Like you see the information session slides before, right? So what kind of computer sings the best? Adele, right? We have another question though. Why did the PowerPoint presentation decide to cross the road? Why did the PowerPoint presentation decide to cross the road? Anyone wants to take a chance at this one? Kyle, seeing that you answered the first two correctly, guys, anyone else want to take a chance at this one? To get to the other slide. So why did the PowerPoint presentation decide to cross the road? To get to the other slide, right? So I hope that you all are well warmed up. We're gonna move specifically to the Bachelors in Information Technology as well from this point moving forward. Is everyone okay? Everyone ready?
Yes.
Yeah, good. So we're gonna start with why study for a bachelor's degree. As a matter of fact, not even particularly a bachelor's in information technology, but overall, why a bachelor's degree, right? So anyone wants to tell me why they think having a bachelor's degree is important, or why persons would pursue a bachelor's degree?
You'll be more marketable for jobs.
Excellent. Anyone else? That's actually very true. And we will explore that a bit later in terms of the job aspect, better salary. Correct, Kyle? Anyone else?
Yeah, it shows that you have all these building blocks to advance into any other stages.
Excellent. So it sets that foundation basically for advancement in your future career path, right? Promotion opportunities. I'm seeing a lot of relevant and very correct answers here as well on the chat. It improves your chances of getting a job. So in terms of the reasons why I have listed here, right, just to name a few, right? for promotion. A lot of you mentioned that as well, for a career change, because persons may not be happy with a current career that they're working within and they want to shift a career. So they do a bachelor's degree in a different area in hopes of like forming or formatting a new career path along that line, right? So there's also that as well. Increased salary, which of course is probably very important for a lot of persons right now. And in terms of starting or growing a business, even personal achievement, because we have a lot of persons, you know, have the interest for IT, but don't particularly want to take it further. They just want to have the personal achievement of a bachelor's in IT. There's also that reason as well. And of course, practical experience in IT, which someone did mention with regards to having the foundation, the building blocks before moving forward, right? So you get that practical aspect in IT by doing a bachelor's degree in IT, right? And of course, you're enhancing your employability, which a lot of you did mention as well. So what I want to do right now is to have a look specifically at OJT salary chart, and this is qualification based, right? So persons with CXC or Csec passes particularly would work for $3,000 per month, right? This is an average of the salary that they would be receiving with just CXC, Csec passes. Looking at someone with a CAPE, CAPE passes or A-levels or a diploma, they would be working for roughly $4,300 per month. Persons with an associate's degree would particularly be working for almost $5,500 per month. And persons with a bachelor's degree, which you all are very interested in right now, would be working for roughly $7,500 per month. So let's just look at the difference between an associate's and a bachelor's degree. There's a difference there, and it's a good one as well. And let's look at the difference from Csec to bachelor's. Csec is roughly 3,000, bachelor's is 7,500. So you can actually see there just by simply looking at the figures in terms of, you know, having better qualification means that your salary increases, right? And even if you do advance on to do a master's degree, your salary again increases, and this is the average salary there listed, so roughly 8,700, right? So just to compare further, let's have a little case here. How much more would you earn with a bachelor's degree versus CXC qualifications or Csec qualifications per month? Let's have a look at that. So the bachelor's degree we just looked at, course, well, in terms of, you know, you completing the bachelor's degree and then moving on to the actual career path, you're expected to earn roughly 7,500 per month. We subtract that from the amount that you would be working with regards to the Csec, and we have a difference of $4,537.50 to be exact. So that is how much more you are earning per month if you have a bachelor's degree as compared to just having Csec qualifications. That's a very big difference as well. And just note that this is an average salary, right? Because jobs pay differently as well for persons who possess bachelor's degrees, especially in the IT sector, right? So with regards to how much you would earn in 1 year, how much more would you earn in 1 year? So if you earn that amount, 4,500 roughly, at the end of each month, and that's extra, how much more would you earn in 1 year? So we take the 4,500 roughly, and we multiply that by 12 months in a year. We have roughly $54,450, and that's how much more you'll be making every single year after pursuing your bachelor's degree and holding on a position in the IT sector. How much more would you make in like over a 40-year period, or more or less like a lifetime, right? Let's have a look at that. It's a whopping $2,178,000 you'll be making for a lifetime, and this is extra, right? This is in terms of how much more you would be making. And just note again, this is just simply average, right? So there's much more leeway in terms of what you're expected to receive in a lifetime, how much more. So the idea is, right, this is probably one of the main reasons why persons look at furthering their education in terms of moving on to a bachelor's degree. And from bachelor's degree, they go into the job market as well. They hold down their positions, they work within the realm. So I just want to hear from you guys. Isn't it interesting to see how the difference is, well, basically what the difference is in terms of the salary aspect from like a CXC qualification and a bachelor's in IT? So you all convinced us yet? If this can't convince you, I don't know what will. In terms of the job aspect, we're going to look at that now. So we would have done a bit of research from the World Economic Forum, or WEF, and they actually suggested that the workforce is automating, which means that, roughly 85 million jobs will be displaced in the next 5 years. 85 million people likely will be out of a job, right? Or basically 85 million job roles will be displaced, so they wouldn't have use for you anymore, right? And even with COVID, the COVID-19 recession created a double disruption scenario for the worker. Companies started adopting technology, with over like 43% of the businesses that actually did the World Economic Forum survey, they indicated that they are set to reduce their workforce because of technology integration. So basically what is being said here is that if there's a system in place that does the work of 5 persons, there's no need for the 5 persons to be employed. Let's implement the system and let's just simply hire someone who manages that system, an IT professional, right? So it reduces the amount of salary that the company is expected to pay to all of their employees, right? And it's much more efficient, and it's like avoiding human error, because humans are not perfect. And in terms of like something simple as data entry, some persons may enter data wrong, whereas if you have a system that is responsible of entering data, there's less chance of there being data that's entered wrong. And all that is really needed is someone who manages that system, your IT professional. So that's how the technology integration is changing businesses right now, and the job market as well. So on the right hand side here, it's pretty small. I'm not sure if you guys would be able to see it. What I have outlined here is the jobs increasing in demand, which is this section here, and the jobs decreasing in demand. You all can see this? Is it a little too small for you guys?
I can see.
No problem. All right, so I'm just going to read out a couple of them. So basically, the ones increasing in demand, which is this section here, right? We have data analysts and scientists, AI and machine learning specialists. We have big data specialists, digital marketing and strategy specialists, process automation specialists, etc. Right? And we have the ones that are decreasing in demand. We have data entry clerks, we have administrative and executive secretaries, we have accounting, bookkeeping, and payroll clerks, and so on. I have a question for you all. You all see a trend here? Look at the job roles that are increasing in demand, and look at those that are decreasing in demand. Anyone sees a trend here? Anyone sees a pattern? Anything that anyone would like to outline? I'll give you a chance. Let it resonate a little bit. I would have maybe hinted it a little bit. Just look at the job role. Anyone?
The
You'll see
majority of jobs is digital, and the more labored ones getting cancelled or decreasing in demand.
Basically, yes. If you look at those that are increasing in demand, look at the job title itself: data analysts and scientists, AI, machine learning specialists, big data specialists, digital marketing and strategy specialists. They are now looking to mandate that they hire specialists within their field to manage the IT system that the company has in place. Therefore, it decreases the demand for like much more smaller roles like data entry clerks. You don't need to hire 5 of those when you have a system in place that only needs to be managed by an IT professional and gets the work done. It gets the work done faster, much more efficient as well, and there's less errors as well, right? All they have to do is make sure that the system does not go down, and that's pretty simple as well, right? And it only takes management from one person. So you pay one salary, you have your system up. Whereas paying 5 different salaries, and you have, like someone gets sick, they're off work, they're not doing their job properly, you need to find a replacement, etc. So it basically curbs all of those problems by having your technological integrations within your company. So that's how it's affecting the job market as well, which means that instead of filling those that are decreasing in demand, those job roles, you're looking to become a specialist. And how exactly do you become a specialist? By being certified and having the relevant experience within your field. And that starts with your bachelor's in IT. You all understand? Yeah, clear? So we looked at the salary aspect, and that's an average. We looked at the job aspect. So in terms of understanding why it's important and how it's really affecting real world and jobs, etc. You all fully understand that, because we're going to move on with regards to the bachelor's in IT specifically, right? So let's move on straight to that one time. So in terms of stores right now, even in Trinidad and Tobago, we're seeing that they're starting to automate. Look at Massey Stores. They have an online app as well. KFC, they have a service for delivery pickup. So a lot of persons are taking advantage of this. They would place their order and they would just simply go to collect. Simple as that, right? And then of course, TTPS have their systems as well. They have an app as well. So we are already starting to endorse this, right? And it's, it doesn't mean that, you do your bachelor's degree and you go away. We are actually endorsing these things right here in Trinidad and Tobago. And it's really dependent on whether you're very innovative as well. You can come up with your own solution to solve a real IT problem within Trinidad and Tobago. So it's not something that you just do and you just simply go away because there's no opportunity. The opportunities are here. Well, sometimes we ourselves have to make the opportunity with regards to this. So why study with the University of Bedfordshire, right? The University of Bedfordshire is a modern, innovative university with a heritage of quality education going back for more than 100 years. So a century of experience within education offering programs. So more than 20,000 students from 120 countries have currently enrolled in the University of Bedfordshire's programs across the various programs that they offer. They have 5 campuses within the United Kingdom, which includes Luton, Bedford, Potteridge, etc. And there are education partners in China, Middle East, Europe, Southeast Asia, and Trinidad and Tobago, which of course is Cts College, right? And the internationally renowned league table has placed Bedfordshire, the University of Bedfordshire, in the top 6% of best universities in the world. Top 6% of the best universities in the world. So these guys are internationally recognized and credible. They are also the winner of the Queen's Anniversary Prize in 2013. This is the highest form of national recognition for universities in the United Kingdom, right? So that's a little bit in terms of the University of Bedfordshire. Why study a little bit of history with regards to their institution? Question? All right, no problem. Moving forward. So why study at Cts College, right? So the University of Bedfordshire is the one that typically has the program. It's their program. Once you complete it with us, you'll be getting your bachelor's degree from them, right? So we are simply partnered with them. We offer the lectures, etc. But why study particularly at Cts College? At Cts College, our mission is to provide high quality and relevant educational opportunities whilst promoting excellence in staff and our student body. Cts College, of course, is a private institution with over 22 years in the education industry. We are ACTT recognized and registered, and Cts College offers a wide range of programs from preschool all the way up to secondary school. We have tertiary level programs, diplomas, bachelor's, master's degree, right? And Cts College offers a wide range of professional development courses, business writing skills, etc. All of those, even DIY stuff as well, right? So with regards like a bit further onto our accomplishments, I would like to call this a little bit of our bragging page. We are the winner of over 106 or even 107 ABE World Prizes since 2007, and we're still winning, right? Year after year. We are the winner of over 47 university awards with the University of Hertfordshire, which is another university in the UK as well. We are the winner of 2 ABMA Academic Achievement Awards and the winner of 11 ACTT Awards, 6 for student support services, 3 for excellence for an established QMS, and 2 for excellence in teaching and learning. So we've been out there, we've been receiving awards for the things that we do. And if we do receive awards, that means we're doing something really right. And we continue to improve as well with regards to our student support. And if I believe that anyone out there, you ask about Cts College, the first thing they're going to tell you about is the student support, the friendliness of the staff, the ability to, get one-on-one help where it's necessary, etc. So that's a little bit of insight with regards to Cts College and why study at Cts College. We've been having Like we have a lot of experience delivering the bachelors in IT. CTS College has over 15 years of experience delivering bachelor programs with an average pass rate of over 90% per module in the program. And we have like over 2,000 applicants throughout the period of us offering these bachelors, and over 1,750 bachelor graduates, with 500 of those with first class honors. Graduates are actually employed in various sectors and in various industries at various levels as well after completing bachelor programs with us, right? So specifically with the bachelors in IT, persons were actually able to move on to Canada, in the US, and definitely in the UK, and even places in Europe as well, and hold on really big positions there as well with the bachelors in IT, of course, right? So moving forward with regards to our experience in delivering the bachelors in IT, just a little bit of insight with regards to the units as well and how students particularly performed. So in terms of the very first class that you see, the 2 rows that are highlighted in blue, that's our 2 level 4 units, and this was simply what was offered previously. We have our lectures there listed, and the pass rate, of course, would have been 90%. And you can actually see in the very first row on top, 58 students scored within the 70 to 100% like basically percentile range, right? Roughly 8 students scored within 60 to 69, 9 students scored within 50 to 59, and basically 5 students scored within 40 to 49. And well, a couple of them may have gotten a referral depending on their specific situation, but overall, the highest mark was 99. The average pass rate was 96. If you look at the second module down there, right, which is this row down here, the second blue one, roughly 88 students scored within the 70 to 100 percentile range, and roughly 3 students scored within the 60 to 69 range. And the rest of them, you know, there's no student that actually scored lower than that, except for the one person that had to do a referral or had to, you know, basically resit, right? So in that case, the pass rate would have been 99%, and that's just for level 4. Right? Level 5, level 6, you're seeing the pass rates within the 90s range. We have 100% as well in level 6, which is excellent because that is our final year, right? That's where students will be graduating with their bachelors with the relevant honors as well. So that's just a bit of insight with our experience and the excellence that we have mirrored into our program over the years after, you know, dealing with different students and developing the ideal structure by which students should complete assignments and all of that. So we're very experienced within this bachelor's program, I must say, right? So moving forward, in terms of the features of the bachelor's in IT with the University of Bedfordshire, this program is globally accessible. It's work applied, right? It's basically accelerated. You complete this program roughly in 2 years, 8 months, or even in as little as 8 months, but we'll get to that in a little bit. In terms of investment, it's very affordable as well, and it's fully accredited. You're fully covered with regards to this program, which we did mention a bit back there, right? So in terms of fully accredited, the University of Bedfordshire's program is basically accredited by the Quality Assurance Agency. Basically, the QAA is the Quality Assurance Agency. They are more or less the equivalent to what ACTT is in Trinidad, but they're simply UK-based, right? So they would be responsible for assessing universities and, you know, basically making changes through their audits for each university. And the University of Bedfordshire was subjected to a QAA review and has successfully met the expectations, and they continue to as well. And the University of Bedfordshire is also recognized as an awarding body by the Accreditation Council of Trinidad and Tobago as well. So you are fully covered with regards to the QAA and ACTT in Trinidad as well. So you're not going to have any problems finding jobs with this bachelor's degree in Trinidad, yet alone in like places away like the UK, Canada, US, etc. Right? And this particularly is what your bachelor's degree would look like, the certificate itself, right? So the student would have graduated with first class honors in information technology in February this year, right? So that's particularly what it would look like. With regards to being globally accessible, more than 20,000 students from over 120 countries have access to the program. We have education partners in China, the Middle East, Europe, Southeast Asia, and Trinidad and Tobago. There's also an online learning environment called Brio, which is available 24/7 from anywhere in the world. And you get access to Brio once you are a registered student with the University of Bedfordshire, right? So you're given a student ID and you have access there. Likely that's the place that you'll be submitting your assignments, etc. There's also a student information desk, or SID, open 24/7 to support students from anywhere in the world. So you're having problems accessing your accounts, or maybe you just need some general assistance, you can contact the student information desk at any point and you would be able to receive a timely response and a helpful response as well. Now, with regards to Cts College, we do actually have a Google Share Drive with all of our lecture recordings, our lecture notes, books, materials from level 4, 5, and 6. So we do house the content. So on Brio, the content is there for all students to like openly view. But what we tend to do is typically normalize that by taking all of the content out of the stuff that provided by the university and localizing it for you guys on our Google Share Drive. So it's there on Brio. It's also here at Cts College. And we also typically would look at the information with regards to how we deliver our lectures. And we will simply split it accordingly so that it fits our schedule as well. So everything is covered. You have the benefit of the recording as well if you do happen to miss class, and there's no need to purchase any books or anything like that because we have them provided if necessary, right? And typically once you're enrolled, a student is given access to level 4, 5, and 6 content. So you can be a level 4 student registered doing a semester, and you can have a look at level 5 content to just take a peek of what you would be doing at level 5, right? So we see that as a benefit to not limit the student to the level that they're at, but allow them to expand and grow by looking at what they would be doing in the future as well, right? So in terms of practicality, our bachelor's in IT tends to lean towards more practical-based assignments, group assignments with regards to programming, with regards to web development and systems development and so on. So you get the chance to solve real IT challenges. You get hands-on experience of developing IT systems. We deliver IT solutions that support a wide range of business functions. So likely you may be given an assignment whereby you need to develop a proposal to an IT problem by finding an IT solution, whether it be a design solution or an actual full-scale development solution, etc. Now, you also learn to develop systems with excellent design through understanding human-computer interaction required in modern IT systems. So it's very much so relevant in terms of the practical aspect. Now, with regards to that, what I was talking about with regards to proposing an actual IT solution for a given IT problem, this is an assignment where a student had the ability to do that. So they actually propose a fleet management solution for the public transportation service within Trinidad and Tobago, which would be the PTSC. So they have the ability to do you have the ability to do something like that. So the proposal is there, then you would take it a step further by actually implementing your solution, whether it be design or an actual system, right? So you have the ability. So in terms of practical, that's what we mean by practical. You actually solve, you do things, it's not like basically assessment based. With regards to accelerated, what we mean by accelerated is that you can actually start at any level within the program. There's level 4, 5, or 6, right? And depending on where you start, that would ultimately determine how fast you would be able to complete the program. So each level consists of 4 units, right? Each of the level that I just mentioned, level 4, 5, and 6, they all consist of 4 units or 4 subjects or 4 modules, as you may want to call them. And each of these can actually be done in 2 semesters of 8 months long. So in 1 semester, you're doing 2 units. In your second semester, you're doing your other 2 units, right? And each semester is 4 months long, but to complete the entire level, it's 8 months long. So you'll be covering your 4 units over the entire level period, which would be 8 months. But per semester, we're not going to give you all 4 modules to do within 1 semester. That would be too much for you to do. So we're having it split by 2 by 2, and that's done throughout the program. So level 4 is the same way, level 5 is the same way, and level 6 is the same way in terms of the structure. And now, given that that's the case, you have the ability to complete your bachelor's degree in just over 2 years. To be exact, it's 2 years and 8 months. 2 years of studies, 8 months of break. And we will get to that in terms of how the program is structured in terms of the levels, the semesters, the break periods, all of that will be covered, right? In terms of affordability, the bachelor's, the University of Bedfordshire's bachelor's is one of the most affordable bachelor IT degree programs in Trinidad. And of course, at CTS College, we have payment plans as well, which makes achieving your bachelor's degree a financially viable option, right? We will run through the payment plans that we have to offer as well later on. We also partner with institutions such as JMNB to assist students in obtaining student loans. Now, the loan is done through the bank formally, and it's paid directly to CTS College, and you would go according to their criteria in terms of paying them off, right? So that's particularly how it's done. More information on that on CTS's website, right? So how is the program structured in terms of the break periods, in terms of the levels? I don't quite understand. Let's have a look at it. So the bachelor's is made up primarily of 3 different levels, which we have established earlier, but now you're able to visualize it here. So at level 4, which is particularly year 1, and you have 4 units or 4 subjects or 4 modules, this is particularly ideal for CAPE holders, or basically persons who possess A-level qualifications, or holders of 2 years plus in IT work experience or IT certifications, or even 3 years general work experience with Csec qualifications. So if you're looking to use Csec, you need to provide at least 3+ years of general work experience to combat that. If you have IT-related certifications or non-IT related certifications, those can actually be utilized to supplement your application. However, persons who hold the CAPE qualification have a higher chance of being accepted almost immediately within the program, right? So persons at level 5 actually is year 2, and it also consists of 4 units, subjects or modules. And basically to enter directly at level 5, you must have the equivalent to a level 4 qualification in terms of IT. So a level 4 IT diploma, or at least 2 years of IT work experience and IT certifications. So if you're looking to use work experience to support your application to get straight into level 5, you must have at least 2 years in IT experience as well as IT certs as well to utilize together with your work experience, right? Or you can have a level 4 IT diploma, right? And you can use that simply get straight into level 5, right? And at level 6, which is the final year, year 3 of the program, you have 4 units, so 4 subjects for 4 modules there as well. And in order to get directly into level 6, you must possess an associate's, an HND, or a level 5 IT diploma or equivalent. Or if you're looking to use work experience, this is how you're going to do it. You're going to have you should have at least 6 years plus IT work experience and IT certification. So if you don't possess an associate or an HND, etc., and you have work experience, you still can get in, but you need to prove that in terms of the resume, in terms of your job letter, etc. Right? So once you provide those, and if you have any IT certification, that would also be excellent in terms of you being accepted. Right? So that's particularly more or less like the entry requirements in a nutshell, and also the different levels, the amount of units, and in terms of how we would think. So with regards to the structure, a student starting at level 4, let's look at that. So what is the student's journey? How long would it take to finish the program if they start particularly at level 4? We're going to have a look at that here. So you have 1 semester, 4 months, your second semester, and another 4 months, right? So for your first semester of 4 months long, you would have the ability to do 2 modules. In the second semester, again, 2 modules. And once you finish all of those, you finish the level and you are able to move on to the next level, right? So the level 4 takes you particularly 8 months to complete. Your first semester and second semester of 4 months each. That's how we come up with the 8 months. Now, before you move on to level 5, which is more or less structured very similarly, there's actually the introduction of a semester break in between each level, right? So after completing level 4 of 8 months, before you move on to level 5, which is another 8 months, you have a 4-month semester break, right? And starting at level 4, 8 months to complete level 4, then 4 months of break. Then you resume the program at level 5, which takes you 8 months to complete. And then again, you have 4 months of break before moving on to level 6, which takes you 8 months to complete. So if you start at level 4, it would take you roughly 2 years and 8 months. So particularly 2 years of studies and 8 months of break. Is this clear for everyone? Everyone who's looking to apply and start at level 4 in terms of how you progress, in terms of how the semesters are structured and how the breaks are structured, you all fully understand? Any questions there?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Excellent, no problem. So what about someone who's starting at level 5? Let's have a look at that, right? Let's have a look at that. So you're starting straight at level 5. Again, you have 2 semesters of 4 months each, sorry, and that would ideally take you 8 months to complete level 5. Similar structure for level 6, but you do still have a semester break in between these. So you start level 5, you finish level 5 before you move on to level 6. You have to take your mandatory 4-month semester break before moving on. So ideally, it takes you 16 months to complete the program starting at level 5. So 16 months of studies and 4 months of break, right? So that's really 20 months in total. Now, you all clear with that? Particularly for persons looking to start at level 5, right? No problem. Gotcha. So what about level 6? Now, this is pretty simple. There's no progression in terms of thing because this is the final year. Students enroll directly in the final year. You only take 8 months to complete the program. There's no like extra things that you have to do. You start directly in your first semester in level 6, and then you progress straight on to your second semester and you complete the program in 8 months and you get your bachelor's degree after completing 8 months, right? So that's in terms of the structure. Person starting at level 4, person starting directly at level 5, and person starting directly at level 6 in terms of the time aspect and the break periods, etc. Understanding all of those. Is everyone clear? Anyone needs me to go over in terms of the structure? No problem. So everyone is totally clear with regards to that. All right. So if no one has any questions, I'm going to move straight on to this question, which you might be asking yourself, what could I do during that 4-month break?
Quick question.
Sure.
Just to go back to one of the slides,
Mhm.
Brio, that's something to synonymous to CTS?
No, that's given directly from, well, you're given access to that straight from the University of Bedfordshire. So when you apply and you get accepted, you're given a student ID. And ideally, once you're given that student ID, that's what you'll be using to log into their systems, which would be Brio. So your assignments will be submitted there. You have the ability to view the content module after module, semester after semester. You have all of the information being provided there as well. If there's any exams, it's done on Brio, unless advised otherwise. So Brio is your best friend, more or less. And you would be given access only if you are accepted within the program.
All right, quick question again. With the site reference payment, I don't think they have too much on what is offered by the bank reference to any payment scheme to the program as it relates to CTS courses.
Right. So with regards to that, I would definitely like to speak with you, but I would do that after the session with regards to understanding how it's done. Would that be fine?
Yeah, sure.
All right, not a problem. So you can call me afterwards, right? So we did actually cover now in terms of the break periods, right? So students starting at level 4, they would have 8 months of break. Students starting directly at level 5 would have 4 months of break, right? Before they move on to the relevant levels. So what could I do within that 4-month break? Like, I don't want to lose the momentum I have right now, progressing to one semester to the next or one level to the next level. I don't want to lose that energy that I have. I don't want to, fall behind when I do start back. So what can I do during that break? Well, Cts College actually has a special offer for students who are currently on their semester break and they would like to do something with Cts College, whether it be an IT certification or any of our short courses. Once it falls within the break period, once it starts within a break period, you have the ability to get, I believe, 40% off any course at Cts College. So the ones that we are recommending would be Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, we have CompTIA A+, web design, and more. For personal development as well, we have project management, financial management, business writing skills, and a lot more as well. So you can utilize your time there. You'll be given discounts as well. And you're not limited to that. If you don't wish to do these, that's totally fine. Because what I would recommend and what I continue to recommend for students is instead of, maybe if you don't want to do these, what you can do, you're given access to all of the content anyways. You are sent the emails for to like starting classes, etc. And you have the ability to actually sit into those classes during your break period and get a little head start. You can actually start your assignments, but you're not submitting anything until you actually start your class and you're registered for those units on Brio. So that's also something students do as well, right? And of course, we have the bunch that, you know, particularly wouldn't want to do anything within the period, and that's totally fine as well. It's your time for you to relax, kick back after a long 8 months of studies, right? So you choose how you want to spend it, but just a note, we do have these offers on the table for students looking to do something during your break period, right? So
Quick
with regards
questions.
to the, yeah.
The and more, that will be outlined on a website or some other area.
Yeah, so that would be here. So ctscollege.com/certifications. That's where you can find a list of all of the different categories of our certifications, which include IT, personal development, personal and professional development. We have DIY courses as well, right? And well, we have business related courses as well, if you're looking into those, right? Which would particularly include like financial management, project management, all of those, right? So you can find out more by following the link on the page here. So ctscollege.com/certifications. I saw someone hands go up. Question?
Yes, I seen that the IT certifications you have here, you said it's 40% off, right?
40% off any course. So once the criteria is met, you are registered students with CTS College doing the IT program, and the program that you're wishing to do here is within the break period, you are entitled for the 40% off. And this applies to any short course, any IT certification that you choose to do at CTS College within your break period, right? There's no limit there. All you need to do is get in contact with me so I could confirm with the relevant program managers, and the discount will be applied to your accounts.
So if you're starting at level 6, you won't have an opportunity to get a discount on the IT certifications.
Unfortunately, no, but I could make alternative arrangements as well, seeing that you would have recently completed with us. So we could look at something like that, but there's no promises there. This is particularly for persons who are on break though. So you're right there. You can particularly take advantage of the 40% off if you're starting directly at level 6, but that's fine because, you know, I can probably make arrangements to facilitate you with regards to some sort of discount at a later date.
All right, okay.
No problem. Any further questions before we move on? Right. So just a little disclaimer there, right? IT certs, professional development, anything as well, any short course offered at CTS College, once you do it within your break period, you are entitled for 40% off. And this is only valid for bachelors in IT students on semester break, right? Just to be absolutely clear as well. So in terms of the program, University of Bedfordshire's Bachelors in IT, what would I learn? That's a big question for a lot of you all. What would I learn? What would I cover? We're going to have a look at the focus of each level in our program. So level 4, year 1, you cover networking, database, you cover as well programming, you cover Python, Java, you cover Oracle, and particularly not Microsoft Access. You don't cover Microsoft Access, right? So the items listed there, Cisco Networking Academy, which is more in relation to networking, you would be given access to a Cisco course on Cisco Networking Academy upon completion, which would be, you know, a practical exam as well as like a multiple choice exam. You would be given like a certificate of completion of that from Cisco Networking Academy. So you are given an actual Cisco certificate after completing that that course, but that's only for students starting at level 4, right? So you get the certification, you can have it signed by either a university representative or a Cisco representative as well, right? So you cover networking, you cover databases, SQL, database administration, normalization, etc. You will get to work with Oracle, Java, and Python programming languages. These would particularly be assessment based. The only one that really isn't assessment based would be the networking, which would be more like exam based, right? At level 5, you're expected to cover user experience design and how the design would work on different devices. So you will be able to propose a proper design solution for a given IT problem, and you would have the ability to design that solution. So you have the idea of like in terms of prototyping, right? And in terms of like understanding how like various devices, in terms of like displays, etc., you will have the ability to understand, well, okay, this is done this particular way, this is done that particular way, in terms of user experience design and prototyping, right? In terms of how you will also cover in terms of how software and hardware can work together and how to develop systems securely by designing and like different approaches as well that can be used to test the software. Right. And it also prepares you for the interview room, which I think is a very important aspect as well. It prepares you for the interview room. It prepares you in terms of your career development portfolio. You actually have to develop a career development plan where you see yourself in the next 5 years, 10 years, or even within a specific range of time, formulating your SMART goals, working towards that. And particularly persons starting with the bachelor's in IT would use that as their starting point. They would expand from there, because we have a number of students passing through this program just for the sake of, having the certification and getting promotions at their current job, or, for salary increase or whatever the case might be. But in terms of persons who are serious on developing a career path from here to like probably into software development, probably into systems engineering, etc., right? We're assisting them in terms of the employability aspect, understanding what needs to be done. They have the ability to do the research and map out their career path, where they see themselves and the steps necessary, what they would have to do. So we're developing students in terms of thinking outside of the box when it comes to their career path, that they, things that they would be doing 5-10 years from now, right? So that will be covered at level 5. At level 5 as well, you would cover WordPress, and you would again cover Oracle as well. You would have exposure to some JavaScript, I believe. You cover HTML, CSS, and irrelevant languages as well. Well, just to note, CSS and HTML isn't really considered to be programming languages, right? They are more scripting languages for development of websites, right? So at level 6, this is the final year. This is probably one of the, like if you talk to any of our recent graduates, they're going to say level 6 was pretty difficult in terms of the amount of stuff that you have to do, right? So at level 6, you're expected to, like conduct independent learning through project work and research techniques on new technologies. During this period, you will produce a completely working software artifact and an accompanying technical report. So you're developing your IT solution. So like front end, back end, you're actually developing. We're encouraging students to develop an e-commerce application, much like let's say like Amazon, like eBay, etc., right? And you would be required to present that in front of a university representative, the workings, the front end, back end, and you would need to supply a technical report outlining the process that you would have taken whilst developing your software artifact, right? And that takes a lot. So it's definitely one of the projects on the bigger side, and it's an individual project. So it's not like a team that you're working with. It's you and you alone putting in all of that work, right? So it's very important that you attend your classes, you pay very close attention with regards to programming as well, right? And you have the ability to improve your project management abilities. As an entire module in terms of IT. There's a module called social and professional project management in relation to IT. So you do cover a wide range of project management abilities, project management skills, soft skills, technical skills in relation to project management. And you have the ability to design an interactive software prototype with a user experience emphasis using Azure, right? And you will, of course, cover, again, programming, right? Your solid foundation for students starting at level 4. They develop those programming skills. It's really enforced again through level 5 in terms of user experience design, prototyping, understanding the user, right? Understanding yourself in terms of your career path. And then of course, level 6, right? You're putting all of that into action. Now, even if you start directly at level 6, and this is a common question, but sir, if I start at level 6, wouldn't I be missing out anything on level 5 or from level 4? The answer is no, because particularly students starting at level 6 may have been prior in terms of like qualified or experienced. They would have to supplement that on their application form. And we're assuming that all of our students at level 6 would have a certain level of knowledge with regards to IT. But that doesn't matter, because at level 6, as a matter of fact, at every level within the program, the lecturers always treat the student as if they know absolutely nothing on the topic. We take you from the ground all the way to the top where you need to be, all right? And that is why it's we wouldn't assume that the student has prior knowledge. We treat them as if they are first timer. They need to know X, Y, and Z, and we teach them X, Y, and Z so that they can achieve the actual outcome in terms of their assignments, in terms of their assessments, etc. Right? So in terms of the focus of each level, is everyone clear? Any further questions? Anything particularly anyone would like to ask?
I have a question.
Sure.
When you said that to get into level 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need for Csec, you need like, I think you said 3+ work, 3+ years of work general experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it could actually be a little bit less, right? So it is recommended that you have 3 years general work experience to supply, but if you don't, we have instances where students were accepted, so there's no need to worry about that as well. Even where you have your Csec qualifications as well, they don't particularly look at the grades on the actual Csec certificate. They would simply use the certificate to basically prove that you have achieved secondary level education, much similar to anyone even providing an associate's and stuff. They particularly, if you have the transcript and stuff like that, you supply it, that's fine. But they just simply want to confirm that you have completed the program successfully, you have the certificate, and you are qualified, more or less, right? So once you possess that certificate, supplying it, it's totally fine. So they won't particularly look at grades. In terms of the work experience, they would look for IT versus general. And in terms of the number of years, if you don't meet the requirement in terms of the number of years, it hasn't been shown that it's like a big problem. They still would likely accept you as well. All right, so in terms of the course being totally online or face-to-face, right? There are like discussions being made with regards to the face-to-face, and we had like ACTT wrote us previously with regards to offering face-to-face classes, but it would be given as an option. So students would have the option of choosing whether they want face-to-face or online when they are registering with Cts College. The acceptance has nothing to do with that. Cts College will be responsible for housing in like in-house classes within our campus in Shogunas, and we would take care of that aspect. But we have seen that the majority of our students choose like more or less leaning towards the online option. And of course, it's much more convenient with regards to that. So some students, you know, depending on the time that they get home from work or stuff that they have to do, particularly on a Saturday as well, and they're not able to attend class, that would affect them. So they have the ability now to review a recording or just simply to get into class using their laptop or their phone, etc. Even for our lecturers, they have now no hassle to get onto the campus to actually conduct class. They can do it from their work, home, etc. So it's really for convenience. And while the option would be there for the face-to-face, if we see favor for the online, we're not going to offer a face-to-face class and everyone will be forced to do the online. But the option is there for the students. We would have the option available. I'm not quite sure when, because it's still in discussion for as of right now. All of our classes are online, right? So you would be given links to attend your classes on Zoom, right? With regards to your second question, I see that you posted there. What careers go into the degree? That's really dependent on you, because we cover a wide range in terms of like networking, in terms of systems development, database administration, etc. So you use this degree as your starting point, basically, and you get further certified after. So it's really depending on you, much like what I tell students, much like with regards to any bachelor's degree, like maybe you get into medicine, you also, once completing that bachelor's in medicine and moving on, you would need to figure out for yourself, where would you like to specialize, right? So it's much similar like that, even in the IT sector as well. So once you run through the program, if you're starting at level 4, that'll be great. That would be greatly appreciated. So you get exposure to networking, get exposure to databases, you get exposure to systems development, programming as well. So you have the ability to move or even get further certified into becoming like software engineers, UX designers. You have, of course, database administration, you have data science, etc. But those things take time. So it's really you being critical with yourself as well, being honest with yourself as well with regards to where you want to go. And we do have modules within the program to assist in helping you format that career path. And this question is exactly why I think that module in level 5 is very much so important in terms of the career path. Network Plus would be sufficient to enter into level 4. That is correct. whether it's a certificate from CTS College or from the actual school that you did it at, or the certificate from CompTIA Plus or Bordercom or wherever, it would be totally fine as well. Right? So we would have actually covered in terms of like what was the focus of each level, but at the end of the program at level 6, I mentioned that students would have to develop a software artifact. So I just want to showcase a couple of projects that the students were able to produce. These are the ones that particularly scored really high, and I think it's wonderfully done, designed, everything. So this is actually a digital wallet that a student had created. This is the sign-in page, right? Beautifully designed as well. And this is what it would look like once the person is logged in. And just think that you would have the ability to do something like this after running through our program. Even at, even if you start at level 4, work your way straight up to level 6, this is what you'll be producing, something quite similar, right? So they also developed a mobile version for it as well. So this would be your desktop version or maybe web browser version. And this is your mobile version here in the form of an app, right? So this is like one student's project. We also have another project which would be taking the shape of an e-commerce application or an online store, right? And this is where, well, I'm seeing the student has basically like a lot of ad supplies for sale, and the site is called Craft 868. So this is another a wonderful project as well that a student has done. So they have their basically they have their items to sale, they have items that you also may be interested in, etc. You have your add to cart function, add to wish list function, etc. You have your price listing and all of that, and you have your cart, your wish list, all of them readily available for you just simply to press order. So thinking, they even implemented a chatbot as well, so you can get help if you're having problems using the service. So think about the ability of you. Think that you have the ability to create something like this after running through this program. Isn't that wonderful? You guys definitely excited to actually get into it and develop things like this? If I were in your shoes, I definitely would be excited after seeing something like this. I want to be able to do that too. Definitely, right?
Yes.
So yeah, exactly. So this is just simply a couple of projects that students would have ideally covered. And this is like ranging from different semesters as well. And we have yet to review a couple more. And, once we do, we can actually ask the students to probably demonstrate as well in a separate session. Once you get enrolled, we could probably do something like that as well. So with regards to you fitting your the bachelor's degree into your life, how do you do that? In terms of the semesters and in terms of enrollment, right, we have a February semester, a June semester, and an October semester. The June is missing from here, and I'll tell you why. Because as of recently, we had discussions with the university, and what they intend to do is eventually, instead of giving 4-month breaks throughout the program, they're going to have one big break, which will ideally take place of the June to September semester that we usually have in the middle of every year. So what they're looking to do from next year, we're only going to accept new applicants level 4 to 6 in February and October. From June to September, we are not accepting any level 4 applicants, only level 5 and only level 6. Only in February and October, we are accepting applicants for all levels in our program. In June, only level 5, only level 6. In the year after, we will be only accepting level 6 applicants into the June semester, and the year after that, no applicants into the June semester. Right? Students, however, progressing from semester to semester would not be affected. The semester is still there. However, we're not accepting any students within that semester. Applicants will ideally have to send in their applications for the February entry into the February intake or the October intake. But in terms of your progression throughout the program, you would still have a June semester. Understood? Anyone needs me to run that over again? So this is effective as of next year. So your batch shouldn't particularly be worried, because more than likely you would be applying for the February intake, right? So again, just to reiterate, from next year, for the February semester and the October semester, the Feb intake and the October intake, we are accepting all applicants for any level within the program. But at the June semester, we are only looking to accept level 5 as well as level 6 into the program. Right? And in the following year, it would only be level 6 applicants. And in the year after that, there would be no intake period within that June semester timeframe. And with some further time to come, they may not even be a June semester. So the reason why this is being done with the University of Bedfordshire is actually trying to mirror how they offer the program in the UK, right? So they're trying to set that standard, set that model. And with that, we have incremental change to how we offer the program. But students progressing through, even if you start in February, you will have a semester in June. It's just that we're not accepting any level 4 applicants within the June semester, and soon to be, it will be completely gone with regards to accepting persons into the program within June, right? So everyone understands?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Excellent, no problem. And if you need me to run this again through, because I know some persons may apply for February, but may not start at February and want to start later, I'll explain how that works, but on a case-to-case basis, right? So if you need explanation on that, feel free to reach out to me as well, right? Sure, no problem. So moving forward into the units or subject delivery, every session at CCS College, every class is 2 hours. You likely would have 3 to 4 classes per week, ideally 3, right? And the fourth one would ideally come about if it like there's any extra sessions that we need to arrange with regards to like the entire class having problems with programming, we would arrange a separate programming session, totally free of cost. If you need assistance with reporting at level 4 and level 5 with like the development of your reports for your assessment, I'll be able to assist with that. And those classes are particularly on a different day as well, particularly on a Friday. So you have the ability to get extra help, but all of our classes are 2 hours. Every class is 2 hours long. All of our classes are recorded as well, right? In terms of the unit or the module or the subject, they would be particularly assessed by 2 assessments. You would have an assignment 1 and an assignment 2. In some cases, even at level 4, you have one module being broken into 2 different parts, and there's a little bit more in terms of the assessment that you are required to complete. So in some cases, it might be 3 assessments typically. All right, so really a unit or a subject, once you're doing 1 unit or 1 subject, it's particularly, you would have like 1, 2, or even 3 assignments depending, right, for that one particular subject. And for your other unit, you will have 2 assignments there as well, right? So think about having the ability to do all 4 modules within 1 4-month semester. That's going to be impossible because you have a lot of assignments to complete within a short space of time. That's why we've made it mandatory that students have the ability to only do 2 units or 2 subjects per semester. So you will only have 4 assignments to submit, which is really 2 per subject, which is totally fine there. Students have been able to manage as well, right? And you would particularly, your first assignments for both subjects or both units would be due at week 5 or week 6. And at the end of the semester, coming down to week 12, that's when your second assignment would be due for both units, right? In terms of how long the semester lasts, it would be roughly like 15 weeks every semester. So that would be working up in a little, like in the excess of 4 months. And there would be like a 2-week break at the end of the semester, right? This is not to be confused with the level break, like the semester break in between like the levels. When you're moving from 4 to 5, before you move on to 5, you have to get a break of 4 months. This is not to be confused with that. You finish your first semester in level 4, before you move on to your second semester, let's just say, you would have like a little 2-week by which we use to organize, send you the relevant information to have you prepare for classes for your second semester, right? So you have typically like a little 2-week break to just recuperate and, you know, get your stuff in order, maybe clear a little outstanding fee that you had previous for the semester that you just completed, and then you'll start your new semester within the same level. But when you're moving from level to level, it's a bigger break period, which we would have covered earlier, which would be the 4-month mandatory semester break. Yeah, so you all understand with regards to that? Any questions there? No problem. All right. Moving forward, in terms of the timetable, this is our tentative timetable. It could be finalized by later December, but this is what we have for right now. So in terms of registration, our registration deadline is set to be December the 23rd, which you can see up here. Our semester starts at January the 21st, like basically late January. We're starting a little bit earlier in terms of the diets that were offered by the University of Bedfordshire. The way how they wanted to offer the program, we have to shift up in order to facilitate the, you know, the times that they will have the assignments due and stuff. So We have our induction dates there, January 14th and the 18th. There's 2 sessions to induction, and we cover 2 very important topics in each one of the sessions. So it's mandatory that you attend both. And the semester would particularly end on May 5th, 2023. So it starts on the 21st of Jan, ends in the 5th of May. Yeah. And let's have a look at how the classes are structured. So this is for new and continuing students in level 4, right? So I mentioned that you would have roughly like 3 to 4 classes per week. Look at level 4 classes here. So you have a class on a Saturday, a Tuesday, and a Wednesday once you start in February with us, right? Or January with us, right? So your Saturday class will be from 10:30 to 12:30, 2 hours long. Your Tuesday class will be 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m., 2 hours long. And again, Wednesday is basically the same thing, 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m., right? So those are typically how classes will be oriented. And if you notice, every level has a class on a Saturday, right? For level 5, new and continuing students in level 5, you would have 2 classes, and both classes would be on Saturdays. Your first class would be from 10:15 a.m. to 12:15 p.m. Your second class begins shortly after, so you have like a lunch, half an hour lunch, and then you come back for your second class at 12:45, which goes on to 2:45. All right, so level 5 students, all of their classes will be on Saturdays, and it's 2 classes that they have on a Saturday. Now, new students and continuing students, we split them at level 6, and I'll explain why. So new students in level 6 would be registered for their 2 units. In that case, starting in February would be Advanced Information Technology. At the other module as well that they would be doing would be Research Methodologies and Emerging Technologies, right? And both of these classes would be on Saturdays. Understood? So new students would have 2 classes on a Saturday if they enroll for level 6. So new students in level 6, 2 classes on a Saturday. Those would be Advanced IT and Research Methodologies and Emerging Technologies, right? Now, continuing students who already finished their first semester in level 6, they don't need to do these 2 units. They already completed it previously. Therefore, they would have 1 class on a Saturday, right, which would be Advanced Information Technology, and they would have 2 classes throughout the week, on Monday and on Wednesday, right? And that would be with regards to the undergraduate project. So they would have already completed their 2 modules prior, so they only need to do 1 more, and then the undergraduate project, which is split across 2 classes, the assignment tutorial, which like the technical report, and then they have a programming class on Wednesdays. And even though students are new, like new students starting here, right, would have 2 classes on a Saturdays, we encourage them to attend the Monday and the Wednesday classes because of the undergraduate project. It needs time to prepare that application, that e-commerce solution that you're using for your undergraduate project, that like the stuff that I had showed you guys earlier with regards to the project students were able to produce, right? You need time, definitely, to be able to produce something like that, right? So we're having you sit into the classes totally free of cost as well, but you're not registered for the class on Brio or formally by the university. We're just simply having you sit in early so you could start your project early. And when you start your second semester, you would basically have the majority complete, and it's just for you to tidy up and organize for your next module as well. And that's pretty much it in terms of the class schedule. But you all understand how level 6 works. Now, new students starting level 6 would be registered for their 2 modules. Continuing students would have their 2 modules, right, accordingly. But we are allowing new students into level 6 to sit in to the Monday and the Wednesday classes so that they can get a head start on the undergraduate project, right? So they can basically cover everything that they need to instead of starting and having to fight up to complete the project within the second semester. It's going to be a lot for you, right? So you all understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, no problem. Gotcha. So let's move forward with regards to what support is available through the University of Bedfordshire and in conjunction with Cts College, right? So in terms of the support at Cts College, right, we have face-to-face and phone support at Cts College. We have course advisors providing course information and support. So you call the front desk, you have the ability to get information on any course provided at Cts College and assistance on applying for any course or any foreign program offered in conjunction with Cts College. You have academic support as well through induction and one-on-one support throughout your semesters, and you have administrative assistance. Like let's say you require a letter, let's say that, you know, you're not quite sure how to operate Brio, you need assistance in terms of registration for your units online, we will assist with that. Right. And of course, in terms of general student inquiries or questions, we will be able to address those as well. So you have your course advisors, academic support, and administrative support through Cts College. With regards to the University of Bedfordshire, you have your online support, and that includes Brio. Right? So you have your study materials, your study support guides, your grades, your feedback, and of course, your submission of assignments are all facilitated on Brio, which you would receive access to once you complete the program. So that's your online support there, right? With regards to your online library, you have access, like as a student of the University of Bedfordshire, in addition to the student ID, you are given a student's email account, and with the university's domain name. Right? So you can actually log into like sites for research information, like online libraries, and you get free access to those. So like when you're conducting your research for your projects, it's much easier to just simply log in, and you have the ability to, you have the wealth of information, as a matter of fact. So the university has set up with a couple of these tools, so like ResearchGate and like a couple of other things that I can't really recall at the time. So you have access to journals, readings, past papers, complementary resources, etc. Through the University of Bedfordshire's student account, right? So any questions there in terms of the support? Just a bit. Yeah.
No, sir.
All right, no problem. So just a bit more in terms of the support that you would receive from CTS College, right? We have advice, information, help, assistance, guidance, competence, solution, and direction. And these are what we identify, especially solution and direction, whereby students have, you know, a lot of problems. And in terms of the guidance as well, because we have recognized that every student learns differently, right? And it's a fact. So in terms of, you know, not understanding something, we want to make sure that our environment is very much so comfortable that you can reach out to me and say, well, okay, I don't understand this. Could you assist? And I'll be happy to as well, because it's all in learning experience. We don't expect you to get everything in one go. So we provide the necessary support, even if it's one-on-one, even if it requires long hours, we are there, and it's totally free of cost, right? For extra assistance. So that's where our Bachelors in Information Technology team comes in. Myself and Mr. Aaron Naris. So I particularly cover level 5 and level 4, while Aaron focuses on the level 6 batch of students. So we conduct extra sessions. We arrange extra sessions if necessary as well to assist students in programming in the various assignment tasks that they have assigned to them. All right. So that's pretty much it in terms of what we do here at CTS College. And of course, in terms of administrative tasks, which we did touch on a little bit earlier, you have the ability to reach out to us with regards to that, in terms of interrupting your studies, in terms of like returning to resume your studies and stuff, and all of those as well. Even if you need extensions on assignments and stuff, we would be able to arrange all of those, right? So a bit further into actually a couple of comments, we actually recently conducted a little how to say, it's a little promotion on our BSc IT CTS College Instagram page, right? And we've gotten a lot of positive feedback, and this is feedback from a couple of our students who were actually the winners of the competition as well, right? So we do host these things from time to time, and we do encourage our students to participate, and like we have a lot of good prizes to give away as well. And we're looking to do another one sometime this semester as well for students who currently enroll, and definitely by the time you are enrolled, you would have the ability to participate in this as well. Right? And the feedback is always oriented towards the fact that, you know, the excellence, it mirrors the fact of the excellence that we have in terms of the student support, the ability for us to reach or touch every student in terms of like one-to-one sessions and stuff like that, right? So that's just a little bit of insight, a little bit of testimony with regards to students who are currently enrolled within the Bachelors in IT. And these are across the various levels within the program as well. So in terms of induction, right, we have 2 induction sessions as well. So you are introduced to the course and the structure. You are also given referencing guidelines in a separate session, right? You gain useful study tips and skills to succeed, and well, you have your academic writing workshop. So the referencing guidelines and the academic writing workshops would be done within a separate session within induction. So you have your first induction session, which typically would be on a Saturday, and then the Wednesday after would be the academic writing / referencing guideline session to induction. And after that, the Saturday after the Wednesday, that's when your classes start. So it's mandatory for new students to attend both sessions because the university has a specific standard in terms of academic writing. Let's say that you utilize content from a journal that you would have found online or research that you would have found online in your report. You need to properly reference and cite the original author of that work that you're using properly. And there's a specific way to do it as well, right? There's various ways to do it as well, but the university has chosen likeness towards the Harvard referencing system. So there's a specific way that is done within your references section and in text when you're citing within the body of your work. There's a specific way to do that as well. And you have to make sure that you follow the standard, otherwise you are at risk of losing marks for incorrect use of referencing. You're not following the proper standards with regards to referencing that they are following. So it's very important that you attend both of your induction sessions. I can't iterate that enough, right? Any questions there? These will be held separately. You would be invited to them via email. You'll be reminded to attend them as well, coming down closer to when they're actually going to start, right? So in terms of assessment, which we did touch on a little bit, just to clarify as well, students are particularly assessed in a variety of ways, and most modules or most units or subjects are assessed through coursework, group and individual projects. The groups are actually assigned by Cts College as well, and we tend to evenly distribute in terms of the members, but you know, like having new students that we don't know too much about, it may be a challenge there. But if there's any difficulties within the group, that's where the extra support sessions come in. We would be able to work one-on-one with a group in order to get them where they need to be with regards to their project. In terms of portfolios, yes, you would be assessed throughout your stay within the program. There would be some assignments that are more like portfolio based. There would be some essays, not too much as well. These will be particularly short, and these wouldn't be weighted as much in terms of, you know, like your grade or your mark, your final mark. And definitely there would be a lot of presentations and some exams as well, right? And most of the exams within the program, which most likely would be like multiple choice, it's not structured questions and answers, right? And of course, you have constant feedback and advice from your lecturer and the BSc IT team. We have like separate support sessions. We have materials. We even provide samples as well, just to give you a bit of guidance towards what your work could possibly look like as well, right? And you have the ability to review recordings that were done previously, as well as your recordings that would have been done within your semester as well, right? So you have the wealth of information, and let's not even talk about Brio. You have like the wealth of resources on Brio as well, right? So that's a little bit on how you would be assessed in terms of that. Any questions there? I know a lot of persons may bend their head when it comes to the group assessments, the group projects, but we are readily able to assist there as well. All right, so in terms of the assessment, how it's done is that in terms of the individual assessments, because you could be assessed individually or by a group, which we have established here, right? So in the case of an individual assessment, right, we would have to provide individual assistance. Every class that the student attends would more or less focus towards completing the assignment, as well as content that the lecturer has to simply provide to supplement the student completing that project. So they would be monitored, right? And possibly their first assignment would be particularly due by week 6. Their second assignment would be due by week 12 or 13, around there, coming down closer to the end of the semester, basically. So they have like a midpoint of the semester where their first assignments are due for both of them, and then and like the ending point, the other assignments are due there as well, right? With regards to the group project, Cts College typically would put students into groups, right? Most, like I think like the maximum amount of persons within a group would be limited to like 5 or 6 in some cases. And we tend to split these evenly in terms of the students who particularly, or the students who we have recognized from previous have performed really well. We tend to split them across as well to evenly distribute. And well, in terms of the assessments, it may vary like what the student has to do, right? But at level 4, for the group assignments, it would be the programming projects like the Java and the Python, you would be required to actually develop an application. So that requires group or team effort as an actual project. So that's where your project management skills will come in. You need to monitor who does what. You need to make sure that you work effectively as a group to produce the final product. So it's a report, a presentation, as well as your application to present. And well, that's for the Java and Python. In level 5, you also have like a student information kiosk that you have to develop through one of the modules, and that's a group assessment as well. So that would be whereby the student has to actually develop the system. They have to have a report supporting and a presentation as well, right? In level 6, there's another group project. I believe it's for social and professional project management. I'm not quite sure what the assignment requirement is, but I do recognize that there is a project there that requires students to work in groups as well. In terms of the individual assessments as well, right? These students will be required to work on their own. These individual assessments may be varied to maybe a portfolio, an essay, a presentation, or an exam, right? So much more of the actual development and programming, like the bigger projects, would be group projects. Understood? All right, no problem. All right, so moving on. Anyone needs any further clarification on assessments?
No, sir.
No problem. Now, your exams would vary in terms of the amount of questions. It may be from like even like as little as 20 questions all the way up to 40 questions, depending, and you would be given the relevant time to complete as well. So most of these will be completed on Brio, with the exception of students starting at level 4. They would need to take their networking examinations and practical examinations on Cisco Networking Academy. So that's done separately, right? So that's the only exception. All of the other exams that you have to undertake, it would be through Brio. Right. So with regards to passing units and progressing, a very important aspect of this as well, because you must pass your units in order to progress on to your next semester, to your next level, etc. So in order to pass a unit or a subject, you must attempt all of the assessments unless advised otherwise. So every module or every unit has 2 assessments, assignment 1 and assignment 2. You're doing 2 modules per semester, so you have 4 assignments in total, right? 2 assignments for one module, 2 assignments for the second module. Assessment 1, assessment number 2. You need to attempt all the assessments unless specified otherwise by either the Bachelors in IT team, myself, Aaron, Mr. Ravi Raghunath, or as advised by the university. So we take advice from the university. We look at the student's account. We look at, what they would have completed. Let's just say that the student failed. They would have to repeat that unit only, etc. So you must attempt all of the assessments unless specified otherwise by us. And in order to pass a unit, you must gain an aggregate grade of a 40% or higher. Right? So basically the pass mark for a unit, so basically they would tally up your assignment 1 and your assignment 2 overall. And then if that mark overall exceeds 40%, you pass. Under that, 39, you fail. You fail the unit. So to progress between levels from level 4 to level 5 or level 5 to level 6, you must at least pass the actual level with 90 credits, which means that you must at least pass 3 units with a grade of 40% and attain a grade of at least 35% in your remaining 30 credits, right? So what does this mean? If you're moving from level 4 to level 5, you must pass at least 3 units, and those marks for the 3 units for each assessment, or basically you must pass each of the 3 units with a grade of 40% or higher. And in the one that you didn't particularly do so well in, right, the other module, you need to at least have a grade of 35%. Understood? So for the 3 that you pass, right, you must have a grade at least like 40% or higher. And for the one that you didn't do so well in, we would allow you to progress, but you need to at least have 35% in that module that you didn't do too well in order to pass and move on to the next level, right? If that is not the case, you would be required to repeat that module and also pay to repeat the module as well. Understood? Any questions there?
No, sir.
All right, no problem. Again, open to discussion. If anyone wants a further breakdown, feel free to reach out to me after the session, right? So furthermore, a little bit of idea to what the award classification would be on your actual BSc IT certificate or your bachelor's degree certificate. We have first class honors, and that would be an average of 70% and more. The upper second class would be like an average of 60 to 69%, and the lower second class would be 50 to 59. The third class honors would be 40 to 49%, right? So this is a tally of your grades overall throughout the levels, throughout the semester, throughout like the various units that you would have covered. Once your average is higher than 70%, you get your first class honors. For 60 to 69, upper second. For 50 to 59, lower second. And for third class, 40 to 49%. Understood? So that's how it really works. So on your bachelor's degree, you'll see XYZ person has achieved their bachelor's in information technology with first class honors. So when you say first class, we understand that you may have gotten 70% and more overall as a grade, right? When you say you would have achieved your bachelor's in information technology with an upper second to a lower second, we know the relevant ranges, and even with third class as well, right? So that's what is meant by award classification. This is what would be on your actual bachelor's degree certificate. Understood? So that's in terms of awards. And let's look at our recent results. And this is, again, moving back to the little bit of bragging. So in our October semester, 2021 last year, we received 21 first class honors from 21 different students at level 6. We had 4 students with an upper second and 1 student with a lower second. So we had minimal upper second and lower seconds. The majority of the class was able to achieve a first class honor, right? And of course, in our most recent incident in February this year, we received an entire class with first class honors. So that was a class of 43 students. All 43 students achieved first class honors. So that is excellent. That's exceptional as well. Once grades are finalized, of course, for the the June semester that just passed there, right, we would update accordingly as well. But that February intake, that February semester, that was an excellent work there done by students. And those projects that were actually displayed earlier was from this semester. So I'm really proud to say that, we continue to deliver this program with a level of excellence. To see all our entire class achieving first class honors as of really recently, and even before that, the majority of the class scoring first class. There's not even third class listed anywhere here as well, right? So that's with regards to our recent results, a little bit of bragging as well. So in terms of your resources, what would you need? So I did mention, and someone did ask about face-to-face classes. So in the event that we do move back to face-to-face classes, our campus would have Wi-Fi access available to all students, as well as core textbooks, hard copy, available at, like in the institution. We have a library as well, or it should be available on the Google shared drive space with the relevant unit information that I did mention earlier. You'll be given access to that as well. Now, on the student side, in the event that the face-to-face option isn't there, right, students would still be required to have access to Wi-Fi and a good working computer. In terms of the specifications of a computer, I would recommend something, possibly the lowest spec would be like an i3 with 8 gigs of RAM and maybe a good bit of storage, maybe 500 gigs of storage at least. In terms of SSD versus HDD, it doesn't really matter, right? You must have proper processing power, right? So that would be like a little bit of recommendation with regards to your computer specifications and access to Wi-Fi. I'm pretty sure that a lot of persons have. We would be able to make arrangements as well if there is a student without access, and you can feel free to reach out to me as well. We will see how best we can assist with that. All right. So everyone's clear on that? So we would provide all of the content, all of the necessary information and stuff if there is face-to-face classes. But for the time being, since there's online, all students must have access to Wi-Fi and a working computer with possibly the baseline specifications that I mentioned just now. An i3, 8 gigs of RAM, at least 500 gigs of storage, right? Doesn't matter HDD or SSD for your hard drive, doesn't matter. So any questions there? Questions? No problem. All right. Moving forward, with regards to where you would graduate, you have two options of graduation. You can graduate with the University of Bedfordshire in the UK, like actually attend their graduation ceremony in the UK, or you can graduate with Cts College. And we typically have our graduation ceremony at the Hyatt Regency, possibly at the end of every year. I think this graduation ceremony right now would be held on December the 11th, but we do it typically every year. So every student who would have completed previously or would have completed within that year would be entitled to graduate with us at the end of the year in that ceremony, right? So you have the option of choosing which ones you really want to attend, but I mean, most of our students, they attend the local one. They come to the Hyatt Regency and they have we have a full ceremony, but as of recently with the whole situation with COVID, what we have been doing is just facilitating like the taking of photos, the stage crossing. We didn't really have like a ceremony, but I'm assuming that since things are much more open now, we would be able to facilitate a full ceremony, right? And moving forward as well, depending on the case with COVID, but seeing that it's kind of dying off now with regards to that, we're looking to move back to the full ceremony where speeches would be held and so on, right? So with regards to that, it's really up to you choosing where you would like to graduate, but those are your two options, with CTS College or with the University of Bedfordshire in the UK, right? So in terms of how do you qualify, we did touch on the entry requirements a bit earlier, but let's get a bit in depth in terms of each level, right? So applicants into level 4 must possess one of the following, at least one, anyone. So at least 2 years of IT work experience, at least K passes, at least any form of tertiary level qualification, at least, maybe 1 or 2 IT certifications. And of course, persons applying with Csec, you need to provide at least 2 to 3 years work experience with IT certifications, or like in place of the Csec, an IT certification with 2 to 3 years of work experience. So that is more or less the entry, like direct entry into level 4. With regards to who it's ideal for, it's really for persons who have some IT work experience within the field, or have K passes or tertiary level qualification, or mature candidates with at least 3 years of work experience, right? And the evidence in terms of the work experience would be the job letter, right? The evidence in terms of your academic qualifications would be your certificates, your IT certificates, and proof of identification would include a copy of your ID, passport, and again, in terms of the work experience, you could utilize your resume, so you could send us a copy of your CV as well. That would be greatly appreciated, right? So that's your level 4 entry requirements. Any questions there?
No, sir.
No problem. Moving forward, with regards to level 5, direct entry into level 5, successful candidates must possess any one of the following: a level 4 diploma qualification in information technology. They must at least have K passes with even like 2 years work experience, IT work experience, or even a combination of IT work experience, at least 2 years, academic and or professional qualifications. Right? So this one, since you're entering like midway, your midpoint directly, right? We need to have something to supplement the exception that we would have made for you starting at that higher level. So that being said, you must provide IT qualifications, IT certifications, work experience to basically supplement, right? So this level is ideally for someone who has previously completed a level 4 IT qualification, a diploma, certificate, etc., or persons with a combination of IT work experience who also possesses professional IT certifications. And again, the evidence to support remains the same: copy of your job letter, academic certs, professional certification, copy of your ID or passport, and a copy of your resume, right? Would also be greatly appreciated. Questions there? I've seen a question, someone asked something on the chat. Would a Google IT specialization certificate 5 in total through Coursera suffice for level 4? Yes, it will. Once you have your certificates to provide, we have used it. We have like maybe about 5 or 6 students in the past semester who did actually use some of those through Coursera, and they provided some like Microsoft online courses as well, free online courses. They were able to get into level 4. They had Csec qualifications. They had 1 year of work experience. They had these courses. they were able to get into level 4. So that's what I'm saying. In terms of the IT qualification, in terms of the awarding body it came from, it doesn't really matter. They want to actually see your experience because they can't really map in terms of, you did the course, yeah, but they can't really map your knowledge until you actually enrolled within the program. So they would accept these for entry into level 4. The work experience wouldn't be a big problem if you don't have it, because remember, you're supplying courses that you would have done through Coursera, right? Google IT specialization certificates, etc. So totally fine. Totally fine, sorry. So you provide your application form filled out, your certificates. If you have your Csec qualifications, supply that as well, right? And we can actually use those to provide. All right, no problem. I have a little bit of surprise for you guys a bit later, but I'll cover that in a little bit. Let's just run through this first, right? So in terms of level 5, these are the entry requirements for direct entry into level 5. Now, in terms of your final year, students applying directly for level 6, you must possess one of the following. So a level 5 diploma or HND or associate's degree in an IT related field, right? Whether it be information systems management, and as a matter of fact, like basically computer engineering, anything like that. Once you have something that relates to IT, it's more or less equivalent to a level 5 diploma, HND or associates or something like that. Even if you completed a bachelor's degree and you just simply want hours, you supply the certificate and you get straight in. If you're looking to combine work experience, you can supply the diploma with IT work experience as well, at least 4 years to get straight in, or you have like academic and or professional qualifications, you can also use those to get straight in. So this level is ideal for persons who have completed a level 5 IT qualification, such as a diploma, HND, or an associate's degree. This is for persons as well with extensive IT work experience, years upon years, right? Who also possesses IT certifications, professional IT certifications. And again, evidence, job letter, academic certs, professional certs, copy of your ID or passport, and a copy of your resume, right? So that's basically the entry requirements for the Bachelor's in Information Technology as of right now. So with regards to how to go about applying, you simply fill out the application form, which would be sent to you in a short bit. And for persons who have touched base with me before, you may have already gotten it as well, right? And it's even available on our website on the BSc IT, well, the Bachelor's in Information Technology page on our website, ctscollege.com. The application form is readily available there as well, but it would be emailed to you after the session. So you complete that application form. If you need assistance completing it, I'll be more than happy to do that as well with you. And you submit your CV or your resume and your ID, right? And well, if you're using work experience to supplement, you can submit a letter from your employer confirming the job title and the duration of the employment within that position. The letter should clearly specify it is a position, right? So it can't be like part-time or contract or anything. It must specify that it is a position, all right? So you also must submit a copy of your transcripts, certificates, diplomas, whatever you have in terms of the academic qualifications. You must provide your official certificates. In the event that you recently complete a program with another institution and you only have your unofficial transcript, you can utilize your unofficial transcript for the time being to support your application. And we will just simply make note of it. The university would likely accept you, but they would request at a later date that you do send them the official certificate so that they can double check, perform the checks, and simply confirm that. All right. So you can also submit a copy of your IT certifications if you're using like the short courses, IT certs and stuff like that to support your application. You could provide those as well. Right. So you must provide your academic qualifications, certifications, IT related stuff as well. You must provide your CV and ID. You must, if you're using work experience to support, like if you have an IT job and you need something like you're applying for one of the higher levels and you want to get in, right? A job letter would be greatly appreciated there as well, and it must be done to the format as specified here. Any questions? And of course, you will your completed application form to tie everything together. But any questions in terms of applying? I'll take that as a no. Everyone seems to be well informed with regards to the information. So once you complete your application form and you provide the supporting documents, which would be items 2 to 5, you would now have the ability to submit your application. You're submitting your application to bsc@ctscollege.com, or you could email it to me directly, or even WhatsApp it to me. As a matter of fact, we're trying to make it as easy as possible for you as well to submit your application. So once we receive all of the supporting documents, we would double check the application, compile it, and then send it to the university in batches. And when you are accepted, you will be informed via email, via phone call. You'll be required to take the necessary steps at that point, right? So you complete the application form, you send us the relevant supporting information, we compile it, we send it off on your behalf after reviewing it, right? And just simply for you to await acceptance. Any questions there? Deadline for registration, that will be later in December, around the 23rd, I think, of December. So you have a bit of time to basically apply, and that is a tentative date. But with I'm recommending that you, if you're really interested, apply now. Like, the reason why as well is because once you apply, it's not mandatory that you start the program right away in the semester that you would have applied for. You have the ability to defer. So you don't start anything yet, you are accepted, but you just simply choose to defer to a future semester. But you're already accepted, so you're not liable for any fees or anything like that. You're just simply putting your foot inside of the program, right? But please note that the acceptance would only be valid for an entire academic year. If you don't utilize or you don't start the program after being accepted for an academic year, you will need to reapply, right? But seeing that you were accepted previously with the same qualifications and stuff like that, and provided that the entry requirements don't change for the level that you would have applied for, you should be able to get back in. But to avoid that, we encourage students to at least let us know that when exactly they're looking to start and what semester, so we'll be able to properly advise them as well in terms of the acceptance. All right, so seeing that everyone is totally fine with regards to that, I'm going to outline the application process a bit further graphically. So this is the steps between applying and starting. So typically the student would complete the application form, right? And then we, the BSc IT team, sends the application to the University of Bedfordshire. In terms of feedback from the university would basically cover you in terms of acceptance. They would notify us, we notify you. We get you to the point where you choose to accept the offer and start right away, or you have the ability to defer onto a future semester if you do so, wish to do so, right? And that is done by you. So depending on your response, we would then take you towards making payment, because once you're accepted and you indicated that you're willing to start the program in the semester that you have listed, we would take you through the payment process in terms of finalizing registration with the university as well. And then of course you would have the ability to start your classes. That date there, you can ignore that date. That date's supposed to be the January the 21st, right? So the student would be given access to all of the content, lecture information and stuff like that. And they would be added to the relevant WhatsApp chats, and they would be given access to all of their classes, links to all of their classes, everything that you need to start your classes basically, right? So application, sending it off, you get your feedback. You have to indicate whether you're accepting the offer, declining, deferring. And of course, the student would then, depending on the decision, if they're looking to start right away, you'll be liable for payments, and then you should be ready for your start of your classes, the induction session, etc. So this is basically the steps between applying and starting, and we guide you through every step of the way, right? We follow up with every student individually to listen to their case, the scenario, and we will make necessary arrangements from that point with that student. Any questions here? Questions, concerns? None? Seen a couple of questions on the chat. If you want to start in October next year, that's totally fine as well. Your acceptance would still be valid up to that point, right? But you wouldn't be liable for any fees until you actually indicate that you're ready to start. And we typically would follow up with you even the semester before that, just to find out if you would be willing to start there instead, because it's like a constant follow-up with students who are accepted. We want to make sure that they are aware that if they don't utilize the acceptance within a specific time frame, they would need to reapply, right? Because it would have been just sitting there and nothing is happening. So why even have it, right? So hoping that is all right, no problem. Gotcha. to Mr. Barrett, I'm currently doing my diploma in IT systems engineering. That would definitely help you get accepted. Even if you provide the transcript, if you could, for the meanwhile, that would be greatly appreciated. More than likely, you should be able to get directly into level 6 with that diploma, depending on the type of diploma as well. If it's the equivalent to a level 5 diploma, you will be able to get into level 6. If it is the equivalent to a level 4 diploma, you should be able to get into level 5, depending on the type of diploma it is. All right. So moving forward on to the cost aspect of the Bachelor's in Information Technology. In terms of each level, right, you have 4 units and you're expected to pay per semester as well. So we have the total cost outline here, but we will cover the payment plans that we have to offer there as well, if you would like to run through that. So at level 4, you have 4 units or 4 modules to cover. You have a CTS registration fee of $500 per semester, and you have semester 1 and semester 2 in each level, right? So the registration is standard throughout the entire program. So each semester you pay $500. For your 2 semesters for the entire level, it's $1,000 in registration, right? In terms of the CTS tuition, it's $2,000 outlined here, $2,000 per module or per unit, and you're doing 4 units for the level, so that's a total of 8,000 TT dollars, right? So 1,000 registration for your 2 semesters and 8,000 for all of your modules for level 4, right? That's 9,000 TT. And the university fee, it's £150 per module, so that's £600 in total. So 9,000 TT, £600. Understood? So that's the total cost for level 4. For level 5, $500 per semester. You're doing 2 semesters in level 5, $1,000 in registration. In terms of your CTS tuition, where it was $2,000 per module in level 4, it's now $2,250 in level 5. So the total cost for your 4 units at level 5 would be 9,000 and the 1,000 from registration. That's the total of 10,000 TT dollars, and the university fee with regards to your pounds would be £150 per module, same as level 4, £600 in total. So 10,000 TT, £600, roughly 16,000 TT if we convert the pounds roughly at a rate of 10 to 1. But when you go to pay pounds, the rate constantly fluctuates. You may get it at a lower cost, so it'll be less than 6,000 TT dollars. Understood? All right, so with regards to your final year, level 6, you have 4 modules, 500 registration per semester, so that's easily 1,000 in TT. With regards to your tuitions, 2,500 per module, so it's 10,000 in total with regards to your tuition. And the university fee tends to go up at level 6, so whereby in level 4 and 5 it was £150 per module, it's £375 per module or unit, and it's a total of £1,500 for your entire level 6, right? So 11,000 TT and £1,500. Right, so that's your total cost at each level for the entire program, level 4, 5, and 6, right? And in terms of your total cost for the program overall, right, your total cost will be roughly 56 to 57,000 TT dollars if we convert all the pounds to TT at a rate of 10 to 1 and include all of the CTS tuition and registration payments. So if you start at level 4, you'll be expected to pay like the complete $56 to $56,000 throughout the duration of the program. So that will be, you'll be basically invoiced that at the beginning or like typically at the beginning of each semester, you'll be invoiced a fraction out of that for your semester and so on. But the total cost would be 56 or 57,000 TT dollars in total, right? Understood? So that's only depending on where you start as well. The cost may vary because if you start at level 5, skip level 4, it costs you ultimately less. And if you start at level 6 directly, it costs you less as well, right? So it may vary. So if you start at level 4, this will be your total cost. Understood? Any questions there? All right, no problem. All right, so yeah. Question? I'm not hearing you if you're trying to talk. So what you could probably do is just put it up on the chat for the meanwhile, and I'll get back to it if possible, because we have a segment as well where we'll be addressing questions, right? So just hold it for the time. I'm not sure if You're still speaking. Franklin, no, because the thing is, right, if we go to purchase pounds, we wouldn't just purchase pounds for these, like maybe 300 pounds for your semester or 600 pounds for the level, etc. We would purchase hundreds of thousands at a time. So it's it's very difficult for us, given the current situation with, like foreign exchange in our country. It's very difficult for us to hold down pounds. So what we're having students do, we set up a pounds account with First Citizens Bank, and we have a TT account for the facilitation of TT payments. So you would pay your TT fees to the TT account, you would pay your pounds, the university fees in pounds to our pounds account. So you could do it via bank draft, you could do it via wire transfer, which we don't really recommend because of the extra fees that are charged for the transaction. If you are a First Citizens customer, you have the ability to do a direct deposit into our GBP account. So you can have the equivalent TT. Let's just say you're trying to pay £100 and you have $1,000 in your account in TT. You just simply indicate to them the transaction that you would like to do. State that it's a direct deposit into a GBP account, state that it's for school fees, right? And First Citizens is pretty much familiar with us as well with regards to the payment of pounds. And you just simply provide the account number, the pounds account number. They would take your TT from your account and clear it and have the pounds submitted into our GBP account, right? So that's like the easiest route as well. And that's only available for First Citizens, the First Citizens accounts. Yeah, so in terms of exceptions, we would be making some with regards to the payment of pounds, but those are on a case-to-case basis. It cannot be made for everyone because ideally, the students would have to get the pounds and in order to pay it to us. So we are open to discussion with regards to paying TT instead, but we tend to not advertise it as much with regards to that because the whole idea is to get the student to pay their fees. So all the fees are payable directly to Cts College, and we would take the fees that you have paid to pay on your behalf to the university in a big batch. All right. So with regards to the payment plans here, this is the current structure that we have for the bachelors at level 4. So at the start of the semester, this is your first semester, semester 1, you can pay your registration fee and 1,125 towards your tuition, and maybe even £150 towards your university fee at the beginning of the semester. Now, it's not really recommended that you do this, but it is possible. So this is the payment plan structure that we have. This amount at the first month of your semester starting, you're expected to pay 1,625 TT and £150. Your second month in the program would be at 1,125 TT and £150. And then for your third and fourth month, you'll only have 1,125 dollar payments at the third and fourth month as well, because you would have cleared up the pounds here. If you would have if you can't make the first payment of pounds, you could start here and of course finish off your pounds payment by the third month. So it could be flexible as well. And if you think that you can't pay this amount up front, then ideally we will make arrangements to facilitate that payment here, or here. So it is in terms of flexibility, we're willing to make separate arrangements as well. And if you're looking to specialize your payment plan as well, we're looking to do something different. So we have a payment plan for level 4, level 5, and level 6 in terms of that, right? So at the end of each semester, you end up meeting the total amount that you have to clear, right? And you end up clearing. So once you follow it, you have the ability to clear off all your fees. And ideally, what we're trying to aim here for is the idea that the student clears all of their fees before the semester finishes. Once they do that, they're totally fine as well, right? So that would have been more or less the idea of the payment plans that we have proposed, right? So level 4, 1,500 TT at the start of the semester, £150 at the start, 1,000 TT for the remainder of months, and £150 payment could be anywhere within here once you pay at the start, or these can actually be shifted to facilitate you at a later date, right? So that would apply for your first semester and second semester as well. The structure remains the same for level 5, 1,625 TT, £150 payment at the start. If you can facilitate this payment, we could make arrangements along the line, right? But ideally, we're recommending that you try to pay these fees up front, the pounds, as fast as you could. Right. So once you clear your semester fee before the semester ends, that'll be greatly appreciated as well. Right. So your semester 1 total will be 5,000 TT, £300. Same thing mirrored for your second semester in level 5. Level 6, we're expecting you to pay 1,700 TT upfront, and you have £375 payment as well upfront. And if you can't make that, we can again facilitate you at one of the later months as well. But ideally, you're expected to clear 5,500 TT and £750 by the end of the first semester. And of course, the same idea is mirrored over into your second semester as well, right? So the payment plan is structured in such a way that you can clear your fees before the semester ends once you follow it very closely. And if you can't follow it very closely, we have the ability to sit, talk, let's have discussion. I'm ready and available as well to apply discounts when necessary, depending on the student situation as well. But that's depending that you keep in touch with me. Let me know what's going on so I could be well informed of your personalized situation, and we can make as a team, make the necessary arrangements to facilitate payments and to facilitate you progressing through your semesters on the program. All right. So yeah, definitely, Kyle, these will be sent across to you after the session as well. Right, so you were told about a special offer before you even came into the information session. So applicants would receive up to $1,000 off their tuition fees per level. So ideally, you have 4 modules to cover, and you can get $250 off each module. So that is how it's really total up to $1,000 off, right? So for your first semester, if you pay all of your semester fees up front, you get $500 off. That's $250 per unit. And if you do the same for the second semester, that's how you get your $1,000 off. If you pay for the entire level up front, you get your $1,000 off up front, right? If you pay per semester, right, and you pay all of your semester fees up front, you get $500 off. And if you do the same thing for the second semester, you get your other $500 off, which totals to the $1,000. So that's how basically your special offer works. And in order to qualify for that, you must attend the information session, which you guys have done, right? The second thing is that you must send in your application form before next Friday, which is the 7th of October, to bsc@ctscollege.com. You can also message me on WhatsApp with your application form, and we'll reach out to me if you need any further assistance as well filling out the form. All right, so our semester's registration, tuition, stuff like that. So like payments of fees, once you're accepted into the program, right, you must clear or must make your payment before the 13th of January. So you can start paying from now. Once it's paid in full before the 13th of January, right, once you're accepted, you will be liable for that discount, that $500 off per semester or $1,000 off for the entire level, depending on how you pay as well. So that's really how the special offer works with regards to that. Any questions here? Questions, concerns? Now, I'm not encouraging you to pay before you're accepted. Please don't pay before you're accepted. That's not the standard that we follow. The student must be accepted before they start paying fees, right? Even prior to that, there's no fees attached to the application process. The application process is absolutely free. All right, so that's pretty much it. In terms of your starting date, you will be starting on the 21st of January, right? So make sure that you're all fit and all ready. You send in your application by next Friday. The sooner you send your application, the faster you get a response from the university, and the earlier we can start working towards clearing some of those fees that you have before the 13th of January, so you can apply for your discount. And we should be all ready for the 21st of Jan, the semester starting on the 21st of January. So any questions, any concerns? That's pretty much it in terms of the presentation, but I have something extra that I'd like to cover for a specific scenario in terms of the entry requirements. If you have to wait on the transcripts, okay, so we would hold on to the application until you can get the transcript at least, and then we would send it, because we can't simply provide the application form without sending some sort of transcript or certificate, right? So we would need to wait on it as well. And as soon as you receive it, then we will be able to send off the application. So if you know that you have to await your transcript or certificate, just make sure and follow up with the relevant awarding body or school that you would have done it at, just to get some updates on that, so it wouldn't hinder you on your application process. All right, but we will be willing to wait. So in the meanwhile, instead of just simply waiting and not filling out everything, supply me with what you have in terms of the entry requirements meeting it, right? We would hold on to it until you can get your transcript or your certificate. Right now, if you have a transcript, we can use the transcript together with everything you provided and send, right? And we can get you accepted, and well, at a later date, you'll need to provide the certificate to prove to the university. In terms of no, we don't really require like hard copies. If you could request it to your address and send us like a scanned copy, that would be more than enough. You're not actually sending us like a hard copy of it. So you would request it, have it sent to your account, and then of course, well, sorry, so you would have requested and have it sent to your address, and then you simply scan it and send it to us in soft copy. Is this course gate funded? I was expecting this question, and the answer, unfortunately, is no. Gate funding has been removed from all private tertiary level institutions offering foreign programs. Once this program is a foreign program, you're expected to pay pounds as well. So it's a foreign program, Bachelors in Information Technology with University of Bedfordshire. So GATE will not apply to us. And yeah, I probably want to ask as well with regards to SBCS or any other schools out there that are looking to offer like foreign programs, GATE would also not apply for those. So like places like UE, likely it would apply to them. Right? So any private tertiary level education institution offering foreign programs, foreign degree programs, even diplomas as well, GATE funding will not apply to them, unfortunately. Even with the expansion that was recently pushed like about a day or two ago, right? A lot of persons have been asking as well, but this is ultimately what it is. So that's why we have the payment plan structure. That's why we're trying our best to facilitate to students as well with regards to the student loan if necessary. But in terms of our payment plan, when you actually look at it in terms of what you're expected to pay every month, it's very much so doable at each level. And in the event that a student isn't able to meet that requirement, we will have some sort of other arrangement to facilitate them. Right? But Joanna, unfortunately, no, with regards to GATE funding. Right? And if you would like to have an extra talk about it as well after the session via phone call, I'll be happy to facilitate you as well if you'd like to further discuss, right? All right, no problem. All right, so what if, I have a question for you guys. Any persons who just completed Csec in here? Recently completed Csec? No problem. Well, I have a little bit of news for you, right? If you don't think that you met the entry requirements for the Bachelors in IT, you don't think that you're ready for the Bachelors in IT. Like you just have Csec qualifications, you don't have work experience, you don't have anything particularly to supplement that. What really happens in that case? Does it mean that you can't start the Bachelor's in IT? The answer is no. You could still start, but you'll need to do something first. And that something is called the IT Bridging Program at Cts College. And what is this program? This program is ideal for students who just left secondary school who are seeking to pursue a qualification in information technology, or they're simply seeking to get a background in terms of information technology, like programming, database administration, networking as well, and even web design. So the course is ideal for persons who completed their Csec qualifications but may not have achieved the qualifying standard to enroll into the Bachelor's in Information Technology. So in terms of what the program is about, in terms of the courses, the program is basically made up of 5 individual courses, each of which introduces to a student to an area within the field of information technology. So each one of these 5 courses would run for a period of 3 to 4 weeks and would have 12 contact hours, right? Each class would ideally be 3 hours long, right? It would be in the afternoon period and it will be within like the Monday to Friday range, right? There would be no weekend classes. These courses are actually practical with weekly assessments solving real life problems, right? So instead of being assessed with regards to like an exam or something that you have to supply at the end of the completion of the course content, you would be assessed weekly. So let's say you take the database course within the bridging program and you would like, instead of having to submit like an actual database at the end, each week, every single class, you are expected to submit something for the next class. So you're expected to submit like some part of the assignment or something. You have to work on something every week. So basically at the end of the program, you would have developed a portfolio. Every time you submitted something, it's added to your portfolio. At the end of your completion of the course, that portfolio is assessed and then you will be given a certificate from Cts College stating that you would have completed and you would have passed, right? And what you completed, the course outline as well, right? So each course is linked directly to the units in the Bachelor's Information Technology program at level 4. So what we have done is taken content particularly from the level 4 in the Bachelors in IT, right? And we have gathered out all of the key concepts, and we've tailored our own bridging program to support the students who are not particularly ready to start a bachelor's and they need extra IT certification. We can provide that. So depending on the amount of courses that they do, they will get the relevant certification. They would now be able to add that to what they already have on their application and apply for the bachelor's in IT to get accepted and start the bachelor's in IT at level 4. Right? So upon completion of each module or each course within the bridging program, students would receive a certificate for the unit that they have completed, right? So you will get your certificate upon completion, and it states that you would have passed, failed, etc. the case might be, right? So with regards to the units being offered or the courses being offered, we're offering Java programming, Python programming, networking fundamentals, introduction to web design, and database design fundamentals, right? So in terms of the Java programming, right, we're giving you insight in terms of like key concepts within Java. And the thing is, with programming language, from programming language to programming language, the concepts are the same in terms of functions, in terms of, you know, like the use of the programming language and, you know, like the ability of like the right range of things that you are available to do with the programming language. The only thing that really changes would be the syntax, the way that you write your statements, etc. So we cover Java and Python, the key concepts. In terms of your networking fundamentals, you would particularly cover networking standards, concepts, topology, media, and terminology, including LANs, WANs, and the OSI model, cabling, IP addressing, subnetting, network hardware, and various protocols like the voice over internet protocol or the etc. Right? So we have the introduction to web design, right? In terms of HTML, and CSS, this will be covered within web design. So you'll be expected, of course, to more or less develop like a web page, etc. Right? So you would cover key concepts in terms of web design, web development there with regards to HTML and CSS respectively. With regards to the database design fundamentals, basically, at the end of this, you should be able to develop a relational data model, right? With regards to conceptual, logical, and physical stages of the database design and development, right? So you'll be covering the key concepts behind database development, the stuff that you don't see, right? Where information is stored in the back end of your system, basically, right? So you would be learning SQL, or the structured query language, which is more or less like a statement-driven language. You have like different statements for different purposes, and basically they're used for inserting, removing, like updating information within your database, right? You would also learn about entity relationship diagrams, basically the blueprints before you develop your database itself. So you would obviously have to map it out, think it through properly before you actually implement it, right? For the minimal, like basically to reduce the amount of errors that may occur when you actually implement your system. So these are typically the courses that we're looking to offer as well. Now, a student could do all 5, a student could do 1 or 2 out of it, but depending on that, right, that would change the total cost for the amount that they're doing, right? But we'll cover that in a little bit. So in terms of the starting period for each one of these, right, the only 2 that we have scheduled right now would be the Java programming, which starts on Thursday, the 6th of October, and would end on Thursday, the 27th of October, class time from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., 3 hours long every class. These classes would be particularly on Thursdays, starting the Thursday, 6th of October, right? And the introduction to Python programming, that starts Wednesday, the 19th of October, ends Wednesday, the 9th. That shouldn't be the 9th there, right? I'll have to double check this with regards to the start dates, right? So that should be November instead of October. So it starts in 19th of October and ends the 9th of November. And class times would be from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., right? So these classes will be typically on a Wednesday. Now, with regards to the networking fundamentals, web design, and database design fundamentals, these have not actually been like scheduled to start as yet in terms of like an absolute start date, but we're looking to have these ready by the 1st week in November, the 3rd week in November for the web design, and the 5th week in November for the database design fundamentals, right? And a student has the ability to register for all 5 as well and pay for all 5, because we definitely would have them ready by the date stipulated here. And once we do, you'll be added to the WhatsApp chat, you'll be added to the class listing as well. You'll be provided with the necessary links for your classes because these will be online classes as well, seeing that it's in the afternoon period. All right, so the idea is you complete as much of these as you can, but you have the option to choose which ones you want to do. But our recommendation is you do all 5, of course, and we're looking to offer a special discount for those who are doing all 5. So let's look at them doing individually. Let's say like a student does the Java programming, they do the Python programming, right? It's $1,000 each for every one of the course, right? That's a standard price. So let's say they do all 5, but they do it over different periods of time. Ultimately, they would be paying $5,000 in total for all 5. But if you're doing all 5 as a bundle, you're doing all 5 at once, right? It would be, you will be actually given a 30% off each course. So whereas you're paying the individual price of $1,000, you'll be paying $700 if you take the bundle. So at the end, instead of paying $5,000 for all 5, you'll be paying $3,500 for all 5 with the 30% discount off each one of the courses, right? Understood? All's totally fine?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right, not a problem. All right, so that's basically it in terms of the payment aspect for the BSc in IT bridging program that we have to offer, right? So once we have the rest of classes scheduled and you have expressed interest in that class, you've registered, you paid for that class, we will update you in terms of the start dates and stuff like that. So we're still working out in the back end in terms of our lectures. We're getting a little problem with regards to that. So once we have that sorted out, we'll be able to push classes, right? And you will definitely be informed via email, via phone call, etc. And of course, payment plans, we will facilitate you in terms of payment upfront, but if you can't make the payment upfront in full, that's totally fine. So you can pay half of the tuition at the start and then a quarter for each month for the remainder of the months that you have within each one of the courses, right? Or you could do 25% upfront and then 50 and then 25 or 25, 25, 50, right, etc. So we will be able to facilitate you with regards to like how you're looking to split the payments across the board, right? But that's something that we'll have to discuss individually for each student's individual case, right? So that's pretty much it in terms of the payment plans that we have to offer as well. So again, we're encouraging students to do all 5. The more that you have, the better for you later down the road, because you'll be getting 5 different certificates in 5 different areas from Cts College, and you can actually use all 5 to supplement your application that goes to the university. So you're putting yourself on a high ground in terms of the number of certifications that you have, right? And the university likes to see number rather than in terms of the qualification itself. So the more IT related stuff that they see on your application, the likelier that you are to be accepted within the program. This is a model that we have tested with regards to acceptance. We have the A+ course, we have the Net+ course, and students were able to actually be accepted within the program at level 4. Even like with the certification that we provided here at Cts College, they didn't actually get to write the exam with the awarding body, which is CompTIA, right? But we actually provided a certificate of completion of a A+ qualification with regards to CompTIA standards, and they were actually able to get into the program with that. And the thing is, that's just one IT certification. You are going to have to do up to 5 IT certifications. So that would be a lot more with regards to that. So you have the ability to apply and more than likely be accepted. So it's something that we have tested, and we've noticed that the university, the more that they see, the likelier that the student is to be accepted within the program. Right? So with regards to registering and applying, in terms of applying, students must complete the registration form for the Bachelors in IT Bridging Program and send the completed document via email to bsc@ctscollege.com. You can also send it to study@ctscollege.com, or you can have it sent directly to myself or Mr. Aaron Naris, or you can have it WhatsApped to me. That's totally fine. So we're trying to provide as much mediums as we can with regards to facilitating the registration form, sending it to us, right? And in terms of registration itself, student must pay their fees according to the plans as outlined on the outlined previously. You must pay upfront or according to the payment plan as well before the start of your very first class, which would be on October the 6th, because that's the earliest one that we have. So that's your registration deadline with regards to these. All right. We could be able to bend a bit in terms of receiving payment afterwards, but that's totally fine as well. All right. So any questions with regards to the Cts College IT Bridging Program? I will definitely provide you with the registration form as well. You get it via email, so do look out for my email, the attachments as well. It would be there for you guys to fill out if there's anyone interested in starting at the bridging and then completing the bridging and then moving on to the bachelor's. So basically you would finish, or if you do all 5, you should be able to finish by mid-December. And you should be able to have your application completed with the certificates from Cts College, and then you should be able to apply for the February semester, right? And between that time, there would be enough time for you to be accepted within the program, and we should be all ready to start with regards to the start of classes on the 21st of January, right? So it will definitely work out in terms of time as well. All right, so any questions there, concerns? Anyone wants to ask anything about the IT bridging program? There's a couple of questions on the chat as well I probably did not address, so let's get to that now. This is your time to shine. I've spoken for almost probably over an hour now, so let's hear from you. Anyone with any major questions or anything that I missed on the chat would like to send it back again? Right. So definitely the bridging program would be recommended for someone without experience, right? Or someone who just recently completed Csec qualifications and they don't have any work experience. They can supplement their application with IT certifications from Cts College. And the thing is, we actually preparing them. So they do the IT certs, they get the IT certs, totally fine. They apply, they get through. But the thing is, we're actually using content from the university side. So they get preparation for level 4 almost directly. Yeah, so in terms of the understanding what they would be covering in level 4, that is covered, and then of course their acceptance status would be covered with regards to the certifications that they would be receiving. Right, so TT payments could be made via credit card. We could facilitate credit card payments at our main office. And well, if you're doing online transactions, it would apply there as well through online banking. So you would send across the amount into our TT account, and the account number would be provided for you all. Both the TT account and our GBP account with First Citizens, the account numbers will definitely be required, would be provided for you all. With regards to the requirements, there's no particular entry requirements for the bridging program, if that's what you're asking. I want to believe that that would be relating to the bridging program directly, right? So no particular entry requirements into the Cts College IT bridging program for any one of the courses, for anyone. And as a matter of fact, it's for anyone outside of the Csec realm looking to start a bachelor's. And I think it just simply be for someone who's looking to brush up on Python skills or who wants to learn a bit more about Python or programming, Java programming, Python programming, web development, database, networking fundamentals. So it acts as short courses as well. With regards to bundles with other IT certifications, we do have CompTIA A+, Net+, Server+, Security+, and I believe there would be a discount that could be applied with regards to you doing all of those one after the next, but that you'll have to speak with directly with the program manager for that bunch of programs. So there's different program managers for each one of the certifications, even the bachelor programs as well, right? So I will definitely pass you on to him. I'll give you his number after the session. I'll message you with it. All right, so you can have a conversation with him as well with regards to any additional discounts or any special offers with regards to the CompTIA IT certification courses. All right. Any questions from anyone? You guys can unmute as well and ask me the question. That's totally fine as well. No problem, Margarita. I'm scrolling through here, hoping I didn't miss anyone's questions. I think I addressed most of these whilst I was persons were asking questions and I was answering them throughout the session as well. If there's anything that you all want to reiterate as well in case I missed your question, no problem, Tyrell. I'll have the numbers sent across to you. Right. So with regards to our program, again, thanks so much for attending the information session. I'm just going to leave this contact information up here for a little bit. So guys, you could probably take a screenshot of your screen right now, or you could probably just write down the numbers really quickly. This is me right here. I can be reached at 286-0862. You have the numbers for Mr. Aaron Naris, who's the program manager. I don't think he's here at the time. And well, Mr. Ravi Raghunath, your executive director of Cts College, could be reached at that number there on screen, and same email for everyone, right? And of course, Our group email is bsc@ctscollege.com. So all applications, important documents are recommended to be sent directly to this email address, right? So it's much easier for all of us to see and any one of us to simply reply and like take it from there with the student, right? All right, no problem. I'm hoping that I didn't miss anyone's questions. Anyone, I'm reiterating again and again, this is your time to shine. Feel free to ask me any questions as well with regards to the Bachelors in IT as well as the CTS College IT Bridging Program. Any questions?
Employment, do you all assist there?
In terms of internships, we have been receiving a couple of them over the past semesters, but in terms of that, we don't direct, like the university as well, they don't have any internship program that you can move directly into after completing the Bachelor's in IT at level 6, or as a matter of fact. So what we have done is that, you know, the executive director of CTS College, Mr. Rafi Raghunath, who has a lot of partners out there in terms of like companies that are always looking for IT interns, but those are typically sent to us as a job opportunity rather than like a direct internship program. So yes, they are available, but on a case-to-case basis. So we are always on the lookout as well for open job opportunities we would provide from our like our various contacts out there with regards to IT. They would reach out to us and indicate that you're looking for X, Y, and Z amount of interns. Is there any student that you would like to recommend, right? But we wouldn't recommend students. We would simply post the option out to the students so they can take their time, go through the interview process, etc. Same for regular job opportunities as well. We would post those to students and they would take advantage of it, right? But it's depending on whether it's available or not. So anything direct that you enroll directly into after completing into our internship program, not right now.
Question.
Sure.
The acronym HELP reference on your website. You could give a little details on it as to how and if it applies to the program or any of your programs.
The acronym HELP, where was that seen?
Under financial support.
I'm having a look as well. I can't remember coming across that before.
Yeah, under student support.
Student
Financial
support.
aid, yeah.
All right, just allow me to look into it as well. What's your name? I'll probably contact you directly on this because you're looking to go along the route of like possibly utilizing one of these instead of going through the payment plan formalities. Would that be your showing, right?
Yeah, correct. I just weighing the options and the opportunities out there to see where a best fit would lie.
Understood. I'll call you right after the session is finished so that we could discuss. Would that be fine?
Okay, great. Yeah.
All right, no problem. All right, cool. Any other questions? All right. So seeing that no one has any questions, guys, I'm open for phone calls directly after the session is completed. As soon as we stop here, call me, right? If you do want to discuss your particular scenario for further advice on your particular case, right? So thank you guys so much for attending this information session. It's been a pleasure relaying the information. I hope it does resonate with you. And I'm hoping to see you in either our bridging program or either any bachelor's in IT, right? Just remember, try to see if you can get your application in for the Bachelor's in IT before next week, Friday, to qualify for that, well, to further meet the requirement with regards to the discount, all right? So guys, do have a wonderful Saturday afternoon. I will email you guys shortly with regards to the recording of this session. So you can have a review if you'd like to go over anything that was covered, and you can reach on to me at any point in time, right? I'm ready to assist with regards to anything relating to these programs that were discussed today. All right, so with that being said, guys, have a wonderful one. I hope that you get some rest over the weekend and you're back out on work on Monday for those that do work. All right. So take care, everyone.
Okay, great.
Yes, same to you, sir.
Yep. Bye.